Good afternoon, everyone. This is Baha Pips. Today I'm going to be day trading the Euro US dollar on the 1 minute chart. It's currently 9:02 p.m. Eastern China time. It is Monday, February 12th, 2024. This is my first real time trading video of the year, and I'm going to get started just by marking up my chart, showing you all, seeing if it's low movement or high movement. That's going to determine if I trade more aggressively or conservatively for the day. I'm going to get started right now. Just a moment. All right, so what I just did was I was just checking to see how many pips we have moving in the past hour and also how many pips we have moving in the past 2 hours. Right now, we are under low movement, so I have a basic minimum requirement for movement in order for me to trade the active session. So as of right now, we're just under 10 pips for the hour and we're under 15 pips for the past 2 hours. So I will wait until further movement shows up. Until then, I just want to talk about what went down in my previous session and what I plan on doing throughout this next session. So as you can see, I did trade the London session earlier. I caught a couple solid trades. My first trade was a winner. My second trade was a partial loss. It was a rangy session. There was pretty decent movement that ended up expanding throughout the session, but then we contracted and I did not see anything that was appealing after that. I traded for a little bit longer than normal because I got to my session a little bit later, but I have the daily highs and lows marked off. This is still remains the daily highs around 1.0805, and the daily lows have been moved to 1.076. So as long as price is within this range, we're pretty much trading range bound. But if we do break the highs or lows, I'm just gonna apply my trend trading settings. I'm gonna copy and paste this pre-market context because I'm pretty much seeing the same thing. I don't like that color. So pretty much I just wrote down pre-market context. It's a low movement, it's rangy, and I'm not a big fan of this trade. So that's why I marked that one as is. Right now we are getting smaller wave sizes towards the upside, and I don't like that. It is rangy. It's kind of choppy as well. So I'm gonna mark that off as well. Market hasn't really gone anywhere. And yeah, choppy. So we have low movement, choppy, and rangy. Earlier today, it wasn't as choppy as it is now, but now we have a whole lot of chop. We are in the U.S. Open, and so far I don't see anything, and that's not a good sign if I'm looking for high quality setups. So I do need to wait. Unfortunately, I would like to get in on some action right away, kind of like how earlier in London session, but it's okay. I'm gonna just wait. I'll update you all along the way. I'm gonna commentate every moment, every minute, everything that I see. Those of you that are new to my real-time trading videos, I trade the London and New York session every day, Monday through Friday, for about 1.5 to 2 hours every day, Monday through Friday. I do not trade the weekends because the markets are closed on the weekends and I take time off. Now, I am looking for specific setups. These setups are patterns that I've traded and practiced for over 18 months. I've back tested, I've refined them to the point where they're not perfect, but I make very little mistakes when spotting and I executing them. So these patterns are going to be labeled as RT, RB, TC North, TC South. Basically, TC stands for trend continuation. So that's my continuation patterns. The RBs and RTs are reversal patterns. You will see it along my charts. If you go to 1minutetraders.com, link will be in the bio down below in the description box. But if you go to 1minutetraders.com and you go under the Forex stocks tab, you can see my sessions that I do update daily, and that is basically it for that. So right now I am still waiting for a higher expansion of the market. Right now I need to see pretty much price break daily lows, or we need to go up further, because like I said, it's just too little movement for me to really be trading anything now. So just gonna wait, sit on my hands. I may pause the video at times because I do not want this to go over 30 minutes. If you look at my older videos, some of them were super long. I understand that, I like to record and I want to just show everyone full transparency, show everyone that I'm actually sitting here the entirety of the time. But in this video, I'm just gonna pause it at moments where I don't really see much, and I'll basically update you all when I'm about to enter a trade or exit a position. So as of right now, there's nothing. I'll update you all in just a moment if I see anything. Quick update. Basically, all I'm seeing right now is just tiny waves moving on towards the upside. It's just basically going up and down within a range. The range is too small for me to trade. Like I said, I don't like trading small moves because they are actually lower probability. I'm waiting for large enough wave sizes. You all will see in this video if it presents itself, but it's gonna be significantly different than what we're seeing now. I like to see large waves. If I go back, I can show y'all an example. So this was earlier in the London session, and as you can see, much bigger, much larger, better waves, as you can see. And it's easier and higher probability to trade these larger waves compared to try to trade this low congestion. So you can see how the context has changed. And that's why I logged out earlier, because I could trade the whole day. I used to trade the whole day. It's just not worth it for me. I like to trade during the opens when there's the highest activity, highest volume of traders. They get in, you get out within an hour and a half to 2 hours. You get basically the chunk of the day out the way. After that, it kind of drifts off. You can still find moves, but I highly recommend just trading the first hour or two of the open, like me. You can see after I logged out, which is the end of that yellow box, it just went into pretty much straight chop range, nothing clear, nothing clean. And I don't like to trade that, so I leave it alone. Moving on to the far right of the screen now, that's why I have this marked off. And I really only primarily look at the past hour or two. I don't really need any more data. That's the benefit of day trading. You don't need too much data. Swing trading, you need, like, depending on the time frame, you need like a lot more data because you're looking at longer term patterns, whatnot. Day trading is different. The market, pretty much, think of it like Alzheimer's. The market has a very short term memory, and trends from earlier in the day does not matter. What could matter though is maybe if there was like a daily high or a daily low that hasn't been broken and prices approaching it. That's what I look for and I will go back in the day for that. But other than that, I do not really care. There's nothing, a trend in Asia session has nothing to do with anything happening in the New York or London session. It's just not how the market works on these time frames. So I don't pay attention to that. But enough of me talking. I'm going to just sit on my hands a little bit longer. I'm going to be switching between my broker and my trading view. My trading view is pretty much for the public. My broker is private for me. So I do not like to share my lot sizes. I do not like to share any of that. So you may see me pausing it at times, but I will let y'all know when I'm getting into a trade and when I'm getting out. So You can see the post results on the broker screen when I'm all done, but I just want to keep that separate and private just to keep y'all updated. So let's wait. I'll follow up with you in a few minutes. Hopefully we find something. If not, I'm going to continue sitting on my hands. Just a quick update. As you can see, I have a couple notes here. I have updated the context. I said that it's less than 15 pips in the past 2 hours. I'm on standby until further expansion. So far, we're still within that tight range. See a trade that I did skip. It was this one. RT here at 21.22. The reason for skipping was because it's too low of movement, and usually decent quality trades are not great on low movement. So good quality or bad quality is not best for low movement. There's an update. It's been about an hour since the market stalled out and went less than 10 pips of movement. So I'm definitely sitting out until we have an expansion. Still waiting for further expansion, but as you can see, I marked up my chart. Just waiting for a little bit further, and I may take a short coming up. We will see. I still have to wait for a proper setup before taking a trade. I do not. Right now, the current wave size is still too small for me to take a trade, but the range for the past 2 hours, 4.3 pips is still too small. The 2 hour range is big enough, but the wave size is too small. So if the price does go short, I can't trade it yet. So you'll see me mark a note off in just a moment if it does pass on down saying no short yet. But I would like to see this current bear trend expand, then a following pullback, and then maybe I'll take a short. If not, we are triggering right on the cusp of daily lows, which is still a little suspect. If I see a bunch of red flags build up, I avoid that trade because there's too many conflicts. So right now, that short is not going. We are starting to reverse, move back on towards the upside. Let's see if we can have some buys step in or if we're going to continue ranging to the side. Follow up with y'all shortly. Also, just wanted to give y'all a little tip. View your mind. Your mind is like a train station, and your thoughts are like passing trains. Just take this analogy. Your mind is like a train station, and your thoughts are passing trains. You don't have to hop on every single train, which means that every thought that passes by must be assessed, reviewed, and analyzed. You do not have to stick to a certain thought because you are not your thoughts. You are your mind. Your mind has thoughts. So sometimes I may be sitting here thinking that a trade is valid or not, but that's why it's important to have a trading system and have strategies that you've back tested and reviewed under every market condition you can, for the specific reason that while I'm trading in real time, because this is real time, everything is taken in front of you. Many thoughts do pass by my mind all the time. Every bar that passes by, I'm thinking something different, and that's just how you trade. And that's how real traders actually trade, though. We don't trade based off of past results. We can't make money off of the past. So right now, this is going down, but I cannot trade this because this wave size is too small. Sooner or later, you're going to see I usually use about 2 to 3 pip stop losses. So right above the last minute bar that just happened would be my stop loss. And I can't take these type of trades because more than likely price will go back up and hit the stop. If not, I will just follow up. I'll wait for a new wave to increase. I need a bare minimum wave size. So right now I would have been in a short in the past. Now I'm sitting on my hands because the wave size is not strong enough. So I'm going to update y'all shortly as after I write my notes down as to why I'm not taking this sell right now. And just like that, not even 2 minutes later, on the second minute after being entered into that short, I would have been stopped out. It's that fast. And this is why I have a system in place on when to trade and just as importantly, when not to trade, because this can happen and this happened to me. After taking thousands of trades, it becomes second nature, but you are still skeptical to mistakes. So it's always important to write down notes because you can go back and review your day. No one's perfect. I'm not a master trader yet, and I have a long way to go. but I'm glad I'm able to share this in front of you all. Even if I don't take a trade today, you can see the notes that I've took and how many mistakes, aka losses, I've avoided because of not taking poor quality setups, because that was a poor quality setup and I even mentioned it. And I'm going to update the note saying on cusp of daily low. Just a moment. We did slightly expand, as you can see, but there's still no trade for me. Um, we are reversing back into the older daily range, but unfortunately, the price movement is still too small. It's about 13 pips in the past 2 hours. This, it's a little considering. I'm considering trading, but I do need to see larger waves. So if something does trigger, it's still going to pretty much be too little for me. Therefore, I'm going to continue sitting on my hands. If I do have any updates, I'll let y'all know. I'll press the play button and resume the video recording. So we are closing in at the end of my session, and as you can see, I'm still no trade for today. Unfortunately, some of my sessions are like this, where I might mark off 0R or break even for the day. This is why sometimes the market movement is just so low that no matter what you try to do, it might invalidate your setups, because low movement equals poor quality trades. You only find the best quality trades when there's a big enough movement. You have to trade a certain pair for a certain amount of time in order for you to really understand the average movement of that pair. This is just the nature of most markets. If it's a low movement, poor quality setups are going to be presented everywhere. If it's good movement, then we're going to see a lot better trades that have a higher probability of working out. You can see my last trade was, I said no TC North. That was a potential long that I used to take. Similar context. It's obviously a different day, but context is very similar. And I skipped out on that today to show y'all that if I was trigger happy and didn't follow my guidelines, I would have another loss. And it may not have been a full 1R loss. As you can see, the horizontal line below that entry point would have been my trailing stop, but I did not take that trade neither. It's not setting up. I have my reason to above. So rejected relative highs and still too low movement. And the trade before that, I said no TC South, trigger on cusp of daily lows preceding, wave size is too small. And then the first trade that I did skip, I said it was a decent RT. That was a reversal trade. Remember at the beginning of the video, I did mention that RTs and RVs are reversals. Just going to show y'all what I mean. See that? That's an uptrend. And then price reversed the uptrend, pulled back and triggered me in. But I don't like taking these trades on this low of movement because it would have drifted, grinded out, and boom, hit my trailing stop. I always use trailing stops, so I would have got out either way. And it kept on drifting around for several minutes. So that did not work out. That would have been a partial loss around break even. Best case scenario. Then the next trade would have been a 1R loss. And the last trade would have been a 1R loss. So, or 0.8R loss. So right now I would have been down by almost 2R for the day if I did take those trades that did not follow through with my guidelines. But this is what happens when you're patient. You preserve your capital, and I can trade another day because this is not going well. I already predetermined my exit for the day. So in the next several minutes, about less than 5 minutes, I'll be done for the day, unless we have an expansion of this current range. This is what it is. I'm going to screenshot it and I'm going to post it on my social media, my Twitter, on my Instagram, and also on my threads for y'all to see. This will also be uploaded on my website, and I will have this video posted on my YouTube and my website. But this is just calm. This is subtle. I did not rush into anything. I was not forced to trade. I didn't want to force any trades neither. Was not under pressure. It was a fairly easy day because most of the time I was on standby, sitting on the sidelines because there's nothing for me to trade. And you all can see that sometimes patience is a virtue. Impulsive trading would lead into 2 losses for the day. If I risk 1% per trade, that's a 2% loss on the day. But because I was not impulsive and I was more conservative, I have my rules, my system, everything is lined up. You can see a 0 hour day is actually a winning day because I saved myself from losses. Trading mistakes are very important. You have to collect your thoughts. You have to understand the conditions of the pairs that you're trading. And, that's why I recommend sticking with 1 or 2 pairs when you start off. I only day trade the Euro USD, but I can day trade stocks and other pairs. It's just that my focus is on Euro USD. You can see it's a high level of concentration during the 1.5 hours that I do trade this for. I look at every bar, I look at the context. I have so many guidelines and little rules to kind of keep me in tune with the right trades and setups. And that's why I focus on 1 pair. 1 pair is enough to make a living off of, to be honest. I know many professionals that actually trade the Euro USD and only trade 1 pair that have been doing it for 20 years or more, and they make a living from it. That's going to be it for the day. As you can see, we're approaching my hour-and-a-half mark. And that's it. No trading today. I saved myself 2% for the day because I did not take bad trades. Could have been even worse if I was not as experienced in my trading. There's a lot of trades that maybe a few months ago I would have took and I would have been way worse. So as you can see, preservation of capital is the best thing to do when there's no setup. When in doubt, stay out. Study your charts, study your trades, study your trading days. Don't take too many trades where it's impossible for you to track of every trade. Study every trade. Every trade you take, you should be able to take a note of that entry, exit, market conditions, movement of price during that trade. You have to study each individual trade in order to become the best trader possible, the best version of yourself where you're not in competition with anyone but yourself. But this is it. Study, study, review, refine, create rules during your off hours when you're not trading live. And I call them guidelines because rules tend to not be broken, but guidelines you can change them over time. So interchangeable between the words, but create rules or guidelines. And basically these guidelines are what you follow religiously day in, day out. Every time you look at the markets, every time you get in a trade, you should know your chart orientations, your x-axis, your y-axis. You should know if the movement is low, high movement, or okay, decent movement enough to trade. You should know what an uptrend is, what a downtrend is. You should know what a range is, the context and the conditions of the markets. You should be able to identify when there's a breakout, when there's a pullback, when there is a break in, and so forth. This is why it's highly important, highly recommended to get a trading coach that knows these things because it will push you ahead of the years that you may have because it takes several years to get all of this down. It's not something that you just suddenly learn after 3 months. It takes a long time. You could learn it a lot sooner within a few months if you do have a coach and you stay consistent with your training. But if not, unfortunately, it will take you at least a few years. With a coach, it will take you several months, and then the journey is basically your own at that point. But you will be years ahead if you just get a trading coach. If you're interested in my private coaching, link is going to be down below in the description box, also on my website. Please message me first if you are interested in private coaching sessions. I do offer those. I like to teach, I like to help people, and that's it. So that is it for my video today. As y'all can see, no trades today. I'm even waiting after overtime right now, and I still don't see anything. You see how the market movement between 22 o'clock and 22:30, the price action dried up and it actually became even worse. Smaller sized bars, and there's just not enough movement for anything. So I'm gonna call this a day. You can see overall my daily P&L between London session and current time is actually right here, plus 1.14R for the day. Trade 2 sessions per day. Maybe you catch some winners in London, maybe you catch nothing, maybe you catch some winners in US. Could also be losers, but this accelerates my learning curve, accelerates my experience path because I used to trade 1 session a day and then I started 2 and I just had an exponential gain in knowledge and experience ever since. I want to see if there's anything else I have to talk about before I end the day. Not really. Y'all see what it is. Did not take any trades. And that's just the end of the video. I commentated everything I can in under 30 minutes. I paused the video because I don't want you guys to be looking at an hour and a half of film footage of me just sitting here on my hands like I used to. So I shortened the version for you all. So if you want to rewatch it, you can rewatch it, see everything that I talked about, why I didn't take certain trades. And like I said, these are my patterns that I trade. So if you want to learn my specific patterns that I trade, which is really easy, they're just like trend continuation and trend reversal patterns. Um, you know, they're simple, but it takes a while to actually learn and, apply them in the proper context and also know when not to trade them. Um, so if you want to learn more about those and everything that I do in order for me to achieve this results, you could definitely contact me. Once again, I have private coaching. I also have a Forex Academy, but that is more swing trading based and it's about my swing trading system. So that is the different style of trading that I do. But all in all, I am a profitable trader, consistently profitable. I do this on a daily, I do this on a regular. I love what I do. And that's it for the video. That's it for the day. I'll follow with y'all later on in the week. Maybe I'll make another video when I'm feeling like it. But if there was a trade today, I would have had it in the recording. I just want to show y'all full transparency. But there's no trades, and I'm not going to lie and say, hey, I took this long right here and I got out up here. No, there's no trade. It can be boring. It can be literally still movement like this. And this is how some of my sessions are. No trades. No trades and following your rules. It's much better than taking a trade and being lucky or taking a trade and breaking your rules and getting unlucky and losing on that guess. I may stick around for a couple more minutes, few more minutes, as I do see the upper bullish trend expanding. We may get that 15 pips of movement, which therefore may push me into a little bit into overtime. I'll update y'all in just a couple of minutes. If not, y'all have a wonderful day, and I'll see y'all later on this week.